part one of a two-part series for this concert experience. When Metallica went ahead a couple months ago and released their 72 Seasons album, they went ahead and announced a world tour that's relatively unique. The world tour itself is not just one concert, but it's actually two. Basically, when the pre-sale started, what you were able to do is you were able to buy two-day passes for two concerts at the same location. Now you might be wondering, okay, well why would I want to go ahead and see the same concert twice? Well, it's not. The gimmick is that the openers for Metallica are different. Metallica is still playing as the headliner for both shows, but they have a completely different set list. So what that means is that there's no repeats over the course of the weekend. So as an example, if on the first night they play Master of Puppets, they won't be playing Master of Puppets the second night. I think that's a great idea for a band like Metallica, mainly because they have so many songs and a lot of their songs can be rather intricate and long. Getting a 2-for-1 deal for a ticket price, I think is really awesome. And the fact that there's different bands for both shows before Metallica is really cool. You do get a lot of bang for your buck with this kind of deal. Now, granted, because of that, if you look at the actual locations for the tour date, they're kind of sparse. They try to really stick to giant stadiums so they can get a lot of people. Young lad growing up in the 90s, Metallica was one of those bands that you heard from every single teenage boy from elementary school all the way up to high school. It was a very popular band for the longest time. Now, growing up where I did, Metallica was not necessarily in my repertoire when I was a child, but I started to kind of get into it as a teenager. But my first experience with Metallica was actually on Guitar Hero. And the first Metallica song that I was ever exposed to on Guitar Hero was One. And this is going to sound a little bit silly, but it is true. What ended up happening is, you know, the song started do-do-do-do. It starts off super smooth and super sweet and beautiful. And then you know that part in the song where it gets to like the spooky parts where it's like, take my arms, take my legs. That, when I was like a kid, scared the crap out of me. So I never played One again after that. That was my first introduction to Metallica. My second introduction was actually back when I was in high school. Now, our football team where I went to high school was the Spartans. So for every single football game, and I know this because I was in the marching band, every single football game would start with King Leonidas from 300 going, "This is Sparta!" And then they would go ahead and jump into Enter the Sandman, where the football team would go ahead and run in. And I liked that a lot more. As a teenager, I started to become more comfortable with things that were like edgier and harder and, you know, maybe a little supernatural and spooky. So Enter the Sandman definitely vibed a lot more with me than One did. As time went on, as I started to expand my musical taste, Metallica was one of those bands that started to come up. And, you know, it wasn't until I was, you know, maybe 16, 17 where I go, now I get it. Let's go ahead and let's start off with talking about the journey and the venue itself. So I had to travel quite a bit of a way to go ahead and make the drive to East Rutherford, New Jersey. It was a super cloudy, very beautiful weather. There was a little bit of fear of rain, but it was fantastic weather. I went ahead and I got to the stadium about 1 o'clock. I was waiting for my friend to go ahead and meet me there. I got some really cool shirts, which I will go ahead and show at the end of the video here. All things were looking good. Now, as I was waiting for my friend, and this is 100% true, I'm not fabricating any of this, tragedy struck. I had purchased these earbuds that are like supposed to be noise canceling. So, you know, you still hear everything just fine, but it's not as loud. So it doesn't hurt your hearing, and I'm kind of anal about making sure that my hearing is as good as it can be. So just to make sure that everything is going good, I go ahead and I pop them in. And the first one came out totally fine. The second one didn't. So, embarrassingly, I had to go ahead and call the paramedics from the stadium to go ahead and get this fucking earbud out of my ear that I had stupidly gotten stuck. I was so embarrassed. And of course, you know, they brought out an ambulance to go ahead and transport me from the parking lot over to the medical bay. And I was so embarrassed of all the injuries that I could have possibly had, you know, being shot, stabbed, losing an arm, getting hit in the head at a Metallica concert. I went to the medic because I had a plastic earbud stuck in my ear. Luckily, it was super easy to remove. A pair of tweezers got it right out, and I said, okay, not using this anymore, and they actually gave me a set to go ahead and use, which was actually really nice of them. Shout out to the medical team at MetLife Stadium. Yeah, you guys are absolute chads. So for context about the whole earpiece in the ear thing, this was the correct size that should have gotten used, and I had mistakenly put the incorrect size in my ear, and now I'm just sitting here in my car with my shame that I was at a fucking Metallica concert, and I ride in an ambulance for getting a little earbud stuck in my ear. So that is not my proudest moment. As the day went on, I was sitting around enjoying the scene, eating, drinking a little bit. My friend finally came, and we hung out together. And then we made our journey over to the stadium. What was really, really cool is just to see all these people lined up. Now, the MetLife Stadium, it can hold about 80,000 people. And what was cool is that this particular concert was sold out. The reason why is that the view of the concert was a 360 view. So that meant there was no back part, there was no backstage. It's dead center, and from every angle you can see everything. What was also really cool is they had these gigantic pillars that would show like images and artwork and the artists as they were going ahead and playing. So that was really, really, really well done. Now, the first artist that we had coming up for the tour here is a band called Mammoth. Is actually relatively new, and what's really cool is they have Wolfgang Van Halen, the son of Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, King, who was of course playing guitar, and it was pretty damn good as an opener. I was vaguely familiar with the band. I've heard the name before, but I didn't really have any songs to go ahead and put in. For an opener, I mean, that Mammoth was certainly one of, if not the most memorable opener I've ever seen in quite some time. Sound quality was fantastic. They were very, very friendly, very, very grateful to be there to play for Metallica, and the music just sounded really good. I'm not going to say it's the most intricate music I've ever heard in my life, but it was really, really good. As the tour continues, I hope that Mammoth starts to get a bit more traction, get some more hardcore fans. I think that they have potential to be really, really, really good. The next band that we had coming up after Mammoth, Pantera.
Gotta give a big monstrous thank you to Metallica. I mean, hey, come on, give it up for that. I mean, total class all the fucking way, sweet as they can be. And they're gonna come up here and kick your fucking ass. Hey, it was James's birthday yesterday. I don't know if that's... This next song is probably why you're a Pantera fan, if you are a Pantera fan. And let's make that clear. How many motherfucking Pantera people do we have in this house? Sing it loud, and let's get down to business. Zachariah.
Ooh, Pantera. So, personally, I was not that big of a Pantera fan. I knew a couple of songs like Walk, Cowboys from Hell, also from Guitar Hero, and of course, Tens. I'm pretty sure that was used in Dragon Ball Z, and maybe, I think it might have been the Lord Slug movie. Pantera was always a band that my friend group always held in really high regard, as kind of an older school metal crowd. And I gotta be honest, Pantera was absolutely phenomenal. I would love to see Pantera as the headline. Actually, Pantera, as a filming, is actually in Hershey, Pennsylvania, doing a concert where they are the headliner. So I bet that would be great to see. but Pantera just brought it. I mean, it was just raw, chaotic energy from start to finish. Oh my God. It's also crazy how good Pantera sounds. You know, with metal, there's always that fear, right? Where like the singer's not going to sound super good, or like the grunging or screaming or yelling isn't going to be super good. But man, the boys from Pantera know what the hell they're doing. What a great show. They had these like 4 pillars that would like shoot up fire and stuff. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Now when Walk came out, lost my mind. Love Walk. But then something strange happened. Cowboys from Hell came up. The thing about Cowboys from Hell is that is a song from Guitar Hero 1 that I absolutely hated. That was a song on Guitar Hero that I struggled with because I like to play on the harder difficulty. That song was nuts, and I swear I was getting like Vietnam flashbacks of like trying to furiously strum the Cowboys from Hell. It was surreal, but it was awesome. I have a much better appreciation for Pantera now that I've actually had the pleasure to go ahead and see them. One small note, one of their t-shirts, and I didn't get it because I wasn't a super big Pantera fan like I am Metallica, but it was actually the album cover of A Vulgar Display of Power with the dude getting punched in the face like this. It was a pretty awesome shirt that was really, really popular. A lot of people I saw either had it or were walking around with it, so top quality merch. Pantera as like the middle band absolutely crushed it. And with such an amazing performance from Pantera, it's hard to imagine how good Metallica could go ahead and follow up with such a good performance. But they did. I don't normally say this, but this might have been the best concert I've ever been to. And I say that with full knowledge that they might even be better tomorrow as well. Metallica gave such an amazing, amazing show. From the energy themselves to the interactions with the audience, to talking with each other, doing improv things here and there, the visuals, the music, the sound of it, breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. I almost lack words to describe how good Metallica's performance was. They came out at about 8:45 and they played straight through for about 2 hours. Now for that they got about, I think, maybe 15, 16 songs or so in, with a couple of extra things here and there. Because you got to remember, a lot of these songs are super long. But oh my God, it was just perfection from start to finish. Now they did play a little bit more of some of their more obscure songs. Some songs that were missing from this performance was, of course, Enter the Sandman. They did not play Ride the Lightning. They didn't play One. So those are some songs that I was looking for. Oh, Whiskey in a Jar is another one. Those are some songs that I would have really liked to hear the first night, but we still have the second night, so they're probably going to show up. Some notable songs that they did play. Nothing Else Matters. I fucking love Nothing Else Matters. They did go ahead and they played Fuel, so that was cool. They had like fire shooting up everywhere. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me what I desire. It was awesome. It was so cool. And then of course they did end with my personal favorite Metallica song, Master of Puppets. And I will say, I know that Master of Puppets got a lot of popularity because of its showing on Stranger Things Season 4. Hey, I totally get it. It's a fantastic song, but I will say, not to be a hipster, but that was my favorite song before Season 4 of Stranger Things, but I'm actually kind of glad they got popularity. There was a lot of people there that had the Hellfire Metallica t-shirts from when Netflix was selling those, so that was kind of cool to see. There was a funny bit too in the middle where Kirk Hammond was going ahead and starting Nothing Else Matters, and he kind of fumbled a little bit with the guitar, and he stopped, and he was like, I kind of screwed that up. I'm gonna do it again. If it's not good enough for me, that is not good enough for you. And people started screaming as he went and started playing again. It was cool. It was funny. It was entertaining. Really say about is that Metallica brought 1,000%, you know, 1,000,000% of energy, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. I've never had the pleasure of seeing Metallica, and you know, seeing it the first time makes me really, really, really excited to go ahead and see it the second time too, because I got a feeling they're probably going to play some more of the songs that I actually would want them to play. But there's also a new opener, so it's cool too. The show for tomorrow, the opener is Ice Nine Kills and Five Finger Death Punch, which I actually really like too. So I'm gonna see more bands that I want, and we're gonna end with another killer performance by Metallica. With Master of Puppets being my personal favorite, I mean, that was obviously the biggest highlight for me. It was just beautiful. It was everything about Metallica, from when they're shredding to when they're playing just simple, beautiful chords. They're just masters. There's no other way to put it. Just absolute champions and masters of their craft. And damn, it is cool to see them in action. What an amazing concert. And it's so hard to believe that the one I'm seeing tomorrow is probably gonna be even better. What would I give this concert? I thought of a new rating system. I've told my story on how much I love Weezer before, and Weezer from the Hella Mega Tour. So I think moving forward, I'm going to rate my band, you know, how many Weezers out of 10 would I go ahead and give it? I think for this concert, again, the best, if not one of the best I've ever seen, I'm probably going to have to give it 10 Weezers out of 10. If Weezer was there, I'd give it 11 Weezers, because Weezer, you know, you can't touch Weezer, but it was just that good, honestly. I've seen so many fantastic concerts, and this has blown so many of them out of the water. I mean, it gets you excited, it gets you energized, you feel like when they play Nothing Else Matters, oh, the feeling and emotion that comes through. It's honestly so impressive to me that Metallica is able to have this wide range of emotions through their music, but especially to go ahead and throw that into a live performance. That is not something that everyone can do. And the crowd was singing and cheering, and to see a stadium with 80,000 people all across with their phones lit up, swaying back and forth and singing in beautiful unison together. That is an almost undescribable experience. And I'm so glad that so many people go ahead and got to experience there. And I'm really glad that more people are going to go ahead and experience it on Sunday. So I will be making a part 2.
This is our purpose. We're glad to be here doing it in front of you. You are the loudest instrument we own, okay? We appreciate you. Mr. Hammond.
As you know me, I am a fiend for merchandise. So let's go ahead and pick up some of the t-shirts that I got. Our first one here is the generic Metallica Tour t-shirt. As we can see, we got the band here. Got the tour dates on the back. Now you'll see there's a lot of locations here that are not in the United States. The ones that are, you have to remember, it doesn't look like a lot, but these are 2 shows at a time in the same location. So it's you double that and you get the number of shows that are actually happening at. Next one that we got here was a gift from my friend Kevin, who came with me. He went ahead for getting the tickets. He bought me this one. Just absolute metal glory. And again, tour dates on the back. When I saw Blink-182, they actually did go ahead and have t-shirts that were unique to the location, and Metallica was the same. This is definitely one of the best shirts I have. This is from New Jersey. It's the Metallica with the Jersey Devil. How fucking awesome is that? I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using this image as the thumbnail, so you'll get to see it and concert in all its glory. But also, it just has a little thing on the back just saying the date of the show and the location. So there's probably going to be specialty t-shirts across all the different locations, and that is so cool. I do kind of wish they would make the merchandise available just to go ahead and buy, but hey, I get it. You got to have the special gimmick to sell t-shirts there. As you can see, I'm a huge Metallica fan. I absolutely love the show, and the merchandise shows that. I don't think I'll be getting another t-shirt for tomorrow, but maybe I will. If they have one that's really cool, that's different, I might. So go ahead and stay tuned for part 2. Once I go ahead and get this video up, I'll go ahead and get part 2 out as well, and we'll see how the two concerts compare. Will it be better? Will it be worse? I guess we'll have to go ahead and find out. But either way, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.